Hi everyone, thank you for watching our video. We've got lots of other amazing online courses available on the Morales Method website. Please follow the link in the description to see our other online courses.
So now we have lower leg and feet in anterior supine position. A great opportunity to work the medial territory, the medial aspect of the lower leg, but you can also work this great tibialis anterior territory. As I mentioned before, be on the lookout for issues that your client may have. If they're dealing with shin splints, this may not be the area to work on. You want to make sure that inflammation is gone before you work on these areas. So check your pathology and make sure you're working when you actually need to be working. So let's say we have our tibialis anterior here, and again I can use knuckles to work this territory if I needed to go in the superior direction. I can also work just like so, and notice my right hand, I internally rotated Elena's leg to be able to expose and get access to tibialis anterior. Like so. And I can take this all the way down to the ankle. If I wanted to work with my forearm elbow, I can absolutely do it, but what I would actually do is sit on a stool or get on one knee to be able to come down and use this flat part on this part of Elena's tibialis anterior. So here I am sitting. I'm going to raise the stool just a little bit. And again, I can internally rotate Elena's leg, and I can use the flat part of my forearm to go in the inferior direction if I needed to do so. And here I go. As before, I'm waiting to sink in before I move, before I travel. And if the directional resistance was consistent, going in the inferior direction, I can continue to go in this direction. Notice I'm bracing Elena's leg with my right hand. And I can take this all the way down to her ankle. If I needed to go in the superior direction, I can just move a little further down to the foot of the table and use my right forearm to go in the superior direction. And now my left hand is stabilizing, internally rotating Elena's leg, stabilizing it as I move in the superior direction. And again, if it was consistently resistant in the superior direction, then I would be working like so. Is it possible to work knuckles in sitting? I believe so, but you may need to actually sit back and straighten your arm. So if that's the case, then I would probably just opt to stand if I'm going to use. I would probably just opt to stand as I'm going to use knuckles. As I mentioned with Elena in prone position, a great opportunity to work the medial part of the lower leg. And if I wanted to work the medial part, I may actually move along to the other side of the table and work like so, bringing her leg just a little bit into external rotation. And here I can use my fingers or my knuckles, again, if I need it to work in the superior direction. And again, I'm stabilizing and bracing her leg with my other hand. Just showing you different placement for different parts of this medial lower leg. I can absolutely go all the way up in here. Don't forget, right around here by the tibia, we've got the pes anserinus. Another great place to work, especially if folks are runners, if they're putting a lot of strain on all of those three muscles attaching to this area. If we wanted to work in the inferior direction, I'm going to use Elena's right leg to demonstrate that. And I can then go back up to this part of the table and use my knuckles to work in the inferior direction. Bracing Elena's leg again with my hand. As I start to travel further down, I can just move my hand as well. Something you may not see is that my left foot is forward as my left hand is forward. And I can take this all the way down to the ankle, the medial malleolus. Pressure okay? Mm-hmm. Good. This allows me to create, and I'm right by the tibia, this allows me to create a great amount of force because I'm just really just leaning in here and keeping my whole arm straight. And I am right by that tibia, being able to sink into that tissue right behind it. As with the work in the quad and hamstrings, I could also ask Elena to dorsiflex or plantar flex as I'm working this tissue. As I demonstrated with the techniques in the quadricep and hamstrings, we can also ask our client to dorsiflex or plantar flex as we're working the lower leg tissue. In this case, let's say I was working in the inferior direction. I can also ask Elena to plantar flex. Go ahead and plantar flex. Great. Toes away from you. Great, great, great. Or I could ask her to dorsiflex. Toes towards your nose. Fantastic. And I could do this as I'm working in the inferior direction or the superior direction. This is your classic, basic anchor and stretch or pin and stretch move. I can do it in the medial part, I can do it in the lateral part by the tibialis anterior. Lots of variations to bring in anchor and stretch.